I mean, if I had to do it again, I would do it again, and I would be a better pesticide salesman. There's a possibility that Spectracide would not hire me back after my podcast. I don't know.
You gotta make clear for anybody just listening, just tuning in. What is this podcast?
I think I did about 6 episodes. It's on back, and I wish that I was filming it at the time. I almost want to redo them just to film it, but it feels like I'm just beating a dead horse, as they would say, if I do it again. But I did about 6 episodes on my time as a pesticide salesman with Spectracide. The first episode was my first 4 years as a part-time employee. And I may redo those. I may do some thinking and just redo those and maybe break those down year by year. But then the next 4 or 5 were my years as a full-time pesticide salesman.
And so the problem is that you got a little salty about one boss in particular.
Yeah, one boss in particular, but I do feel like I probably slammed a couple of people, and I had no idea, but people from the company started listening to the podcast. So I realized, because my old boss that I had the biggest problem with, he would reach out to me from time to time on social media, not in my inbox, but just comment and be very positive and say, hey, go get him, and those sorts of things. And then I had an episode where I really hammered him. I had no idea that anybody would be listening. I think what happened is 1 or 2 people that I'm still friends with that have a lot of contact with people in the company, I think that they listened and they got so excited about me slamming a couple of people that they were contacting other people going, you got to hear this. Oh, you got to hear this. And to be fair, I do think he deserved it because he was not nice to me. But, probably not nice to hear about yourself.
Yeah, you have a bit of the advantage because you've got a platform and...
Right. But I will say, I mean, the roles used to be reversed. There were 2 things that really bothered me the most, and these are not personal things against him. These are things that just bothered me. There was one year we had an evaluation, and each year your boss is to do an evaluation on you. And our boss said to us, he goes, I'm going to let you all fill out your own evaluation, and I want you to, tell me how you think you're doing. So I was like, okay, great. And I really did this evaluation in an honest way. I took the time and I said, I marked the areas where I really thought I needed improvements, and I marked the areas where I thought I was doing really good. And I didn't give myself that great of a score. I didn't give myself a bad score, but I was like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to show that I am self-aware about some of my problems, and I'm going to prove to my boss that I am aware and I do want to change them moving forward. And he called me and he goes, I just want you to know you're way off on some of these. And he just knocked me down more points on all of them. So, if I had it to do again, I'd just mark myself 100 all across the board and be like, I'm the best employee this company's ever had, and you're lucky to have me as an employee.
Yeah, there's still some bitterness there.
Yeah, so it's like that bothered me. And then the other thing that bothered me was I was really about to quit. I had already decided that I was going to be quitting, but nobody knew except for me. And we were at a sales meeting, and that boss, he got a new position to where he would no longer be my boss, and a new boss was coming in, and the new boss was a guy I really liked. I had never worked for him before, but we had interactions in the company before, and I really liked him. He's also from Alabama. We bonded. I thought he was a fun guy. Recently, that guy came to my show in Huntsville, Alabama. It was great to see him. And he has also quit drinking. We both used to be really heavy drinkers, and he had quit drinking. And now, attends a church where he gives talks to people about recovering from alcohol. So I'm a big fan of it. But he became my new boss. So my old boss was leaving, and it felt like me and him were having a moment at the meeting. It really felt like we were kind of having a bonding moment where it was like, we've had some problems, we've gone through some things, but, I'm leaving, I'm going to a different position, and I wish you the best of luck, sort of thing. But instead of that being what he was doing, he kind of wrote me up to the new boss, letting the new boss know that I have some problems, and that if he wanted to fire me, that would make sense. In a sense. But the new boss liked me, and was like, I'm not firing this guy. And so it worked out for me. But it was just like, dude, you gave me all this shit the whole time I'm working with you. And then as we're parting, you're going to like try to you don't even have to deal with me anymore. And you're going to try to nail me as you're leaving. So.
You're like, guess what? I'm about to be a semi-popular comedian in about 10 years. You better watch out, buddy. I got your number.
And I never meant to do it. Even now, I'm pretty apologetic about it all. But as I begin to talk about it and it resurfaces again, there's still anger in there.
Yeah, there's fire
about it, to where it's like it really made my life difficult. I haven't, and I think I'm just repeating things at this point.
But have you forgiven him, do you think? Have you chosen to forgive?
In my heart, yeah.
Slay! Slay!
We're having a good time.